Alrighty. Welcome, welcome. Let me alert up the student them. Big up yourself. Apothecary. Lawful, always. Welcome everyone, welcome everyone. If you're just joining the live, we're just getting started. We're going to talk a little bit about the voting, right? And we're going to talk about some more traffic. Getting started in just a few. I'll get started in just a few. Share the live, like the live. Welcome, welcome one and all. Gonna get started shortly. Let me see if I can move that something here. How do we move this? No. No. You know, so I never really mess around with all of them settings here. But let's see. I don't know what all of this is. What is all of this? Effects. Okay, background. You see, so and when you change the background, you can't move it. Yeah, memes, lawful, always. You're welcome to tap in the box and come up if you have a question or if you want to talk about something. Damien, lawful, always. Welcome, welcome. They are trying to mess around with this background thing here to see if we can make a change. I'm gonna slow that something there. Alright, we have yard memes that come up.
Lawful, lawful.
Lawful, welcome, welcome. Wagwan.
I have a story for you today.
Ah, boy.
I tell you, went to court today, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah. Trust me, it was an experience.
Let them say I go on like courtroom today. Which court?
Traffic. Maypen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. First of all, other than the wait was extremely long. You understand? Then now you're reaching at the courthouse, right? Several different stories, but let me start with mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now my story is that an officer gave me a ticket stating that I was emitting blue light or equipment to emit blue light, which is kind of odd and strange that you'd write equipment to emit blue light. Or yeah. So all right. So went in court now, stood up, judge there and everything. So
Hold on.
the judge asked me,
Is this
yeah,
your first appearance in court or the second one?
second,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So now the judge said, "How do you plead?" First thing. So I said, "Not guilty, Your Honor."
Okay.
Right? She said she looked at the case file and she read and she said, "Did the officer show you the evidence against you?" I said, "Yes, Your Honor." Right? That was the blue light on the front of the car, the emblem light, which doesn't
Okay.
really emit a beam because it's a warm background light. Right?
Okay.
It's about 3 watts. Right.
Okay.
So yeah. So now
So
she
is
said
it inside the vehicle?
she said no, like where you would see like the name of the car on the front, so you see Nissan,
Okay.
Honda, or whatever, right on the front. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those lights don't really send out a beam. Like
Okay.
literally, you can put your hand in front of them, which I asked the officer to do, and he got no reflection on his hand.
Right.
And so yeah, so he wasn't emitting any beam. So all right. So now the judge said, did the officer present the evidence to you, showing you? I said, yes, Your Honor. Oh, also the officer didn't show up for court, but that's Jamaica, so it go. Right?
Wrong
So
answer.
now I said,
Go
yes.
ahead.
So I said, yes, the officer showed me what he was talking about. I said, but in the Road Traffic Act, right? By the time I said that, oh, the judge got irate. First of all, you don't need to quote that to me. I know the Road Traffic Act. It's my job. This and that. You think I don't know my job? So I'm saying, Your Honor, I'm not saying you don't know your job. I'm just stating well what the Road Traffic Act says about lights and what. No, 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 no. You don't need to do this, that. And she went on. She got loud and boisterous and everything. So I said, Your Honor, I think going a little bit overboard, but she went on. All right. So I said, Your Honor, I'm just trying to explain the situation, right? She said, "You know what? Just give him a different date, and I don't want him. I don't want him to come back in front of me. Find him a different judge." So I said, "Okay, Your Honor, no problem, no problem." Because I don't see what the great issue is. Because I'm just simply stating, what the law says. So obviously the judge don't want to hear what the law says. She's not interested in what the Road Traffic Act says, because according to her, she knows the law. Which,
Right.
if anyone has ever been to court, knows this, that if you go into court and your ignorance of the law doesn't really give you an excuse. They
Right.
will not enlighten you on what the law says. Worse, if you just plead guilty, them are gonna take your money and gone. They're not gonna say,
Right.
well, sir, you weren't actually guilty of this crime. They won't do that, right?
Right.
So basically, that was how my case went today. So they gave me a different date, and yeah, they ordered me to come to court on a different date. It was something else. Trust me. The way the judge was behaving, just because I said, "Well, Your Honor, the Road Traffic Act says." That was the only thing I got to get out of my mouth was, "Your Honor, the Road Traffic Act says." You think I don't know what the Road Traffic Act says? It is my job to know what the Road Traffic Act says. Hey, wait, hold on. Starting to wonder if I know this woman from somewhere.
Right.
Trust me. Just
Why?
her behavior was just, trust me, unbecoming of a judge. You'd never think that a judge would behave like this. This is market vendor behavior. Not you know, not something that you think a judge, you understand, would say.
Right. Because the thing is that we are going in expecting professionalism, seriousness, taking things,
Exactly.
in a lawful way. You're expecting
Mm-hmm.
fairness. But you see, once you go in there and you start uttering anything about the law, they want to be the only ones
Yeah,
saying something from the line. They don't want you come in and say, well, the road traffic act said this or the constabulary force act said this. They want just dictate
exactly.
to you.
Same thing I was saying. Same thing I
Right.
was saying. Right?
So
Like,
now,
because I guess few people ahead of me, sorry to interrupt, but few people ahead of me was pled guilty and they just paid the fine. So even
right,
some cases I think that some people weren't even guilty, but they just didn't really know how to get around it. You understand? It
right.
just it just like even in one case that I heard, which was a case that simple discretion and a little bit of understanding could have solved, because basically a taxi man was there and he said he was on his route. He had someone in the car, right? The person said they want to get out of the car, right? He said you can't let off here because it's on a yellow line. You can't stop on the yellow line,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. So he can't stop here. He can't stop here, and the police are working on the road. So he might try to avoid all of that contention with the police and everything. All right. So he explained to the woman. After he explained to the woman, now about a minute after, the woman just opened the door, step out of the car. Same as she doing that, the police saw what was happening. Boom. Police came over, telling him he shouldn't let out here. The man was simply explaining to the officer, it wasn't me. The woman just opened the door. I didn't even stop. I didn't even stop. Well, because he was in the traffic, you're moving very slow. You
Mhm.
understand? Yeah, she just stepped out of the vehicle, and that the officer said, "Well, you still have to pay the ticket, because basically you let out right here." And the man pled guilty. I don't really think he was guilty of that. It just took some understanding to understand that he
Right,
couldn't have trapped the woman in the car. That
right.
would be kidnapping right there. Yeah,
Exactly.
but the judge didn't really show any leniency towards understanding what happened.
Mhm.
She just took the guilty plea and told him to pay the fine.
And that is typically how that will go. People keep on thinking that just because you explain, you think say the judge is going to say, "Oh, I understand the situation, and this doesn't seem like something that I should really charge her for." That's not how it works.
No, nope, not at all.
You know.
Mm.
No. Skeleton Dan, Wagwan, big up yourself. Lawful. When it comes to the courts, um, I don't really have a lot of videos talking about what happens, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea that you can just go into court and you can just say one something and boom, your case dismissed or this and that and whatever. Right? But at the same time, if you know in yourself that you are not guilty of something, that is your chance to explain. That is your chance to justify your reasoning on what happened. But more importantly, more importantly, when
Yeah.
you go to court, it is not up to you to prove your innocence.
In Jamaican court, it seems like it's that because
No,
you're guilty before proven innocent.
no, man. They are going to ask you questions. The judge is always
Yeah.
going to ask you questions, but it is not your job to answer any question, because that is a form of self incrimination. It is what you
Okay.
say the judge are going to use.
Yeah, use against you. Yeah.
Right. So at the end of the day, it no matter how good your story is, once you cross the line where you are tell the judge say, well, this did really happen, and the officer did do this and that and rare, what you have just done in many cases is not only to incriminate yourself, you have given the judge a reason to rule against you.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
So if for example, if I was in a situation where the judge is asking me, well, sir, what exactly occurred? Did the officer tell you why he was arresting you or why he was giving you the ticket and this? I say, Your Honor, I am not here on trial. So I
Mm.
would like to see the evidence that is presented to the court against me. Can I please see the evidence presented against me in this cause?
Okay.
What then can I say?
Makes sense.
Sir, I want to hear your side of the story. Your Honor, respectfully, I am not on trial. I am here contesting the validity of this ticket, so therefore I need to see the evidence.
Yeah.
You see, because at the end of the day, as much as them a claim say the court is not a money-making machine,
It is.
you can't, if the judge say you're guilty, pay the fine, can you leave the court and don't pay?
No, you cannot.
You can't go to the door go pay. You have to pay the clerk before you left.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you are compelled and forced to leave your money at the court, what is it, a bank? Are you depositing the money and come back later for?
Maybe you have shares, you know, so you're waiting on your investment to turn over.
So at the end of the day, it don't matter how them want to spin it and put it. If they are collecting monies and the money is supposed, all right, see, they must say it is not a government revenue generating machine. If that is the case, then that means that them a pocket the money.
Exactly.
And there is no arm of the
Exactly.
government that can collect money and don't send it to the consolidated fund. This is not supposed to happen.
That's true. But I don't know what's going on with the Jamaican system. You know, the Jamaican system is, I don't know if it's broken. It wasn't good from morning. I don't know what exactly is going on with it.
Well, I am going to break down some of that today. I'm going to break down some of that. So
Okay,
stay tuned, and I'm going
I
to
will.
put a few things into perspective so people get a better understanding of
Okay.
what's going on.
Okay.
Zin, so yeah, man, thank you for sharing your experience so far, and you know, hopefully, when you get the chance to go back in there and start out things, you get a chance to present your situation properly.
Yeah, I hope so. Trust me, I really do hope so. Wait, one more story I have to give you before I go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So this young man was also in court, and he said he was stopped by the police. He was stopped by the police. You know, they asked him for license and whatever to run his plate. So he said no, something occurred, but him and the police basically end up in a little argument, right? So now he didn't give the police the license the same time because the two of them are back and forth. You understand? Two of them are back and forth about something, police promise him box and all of this. Yeah, Jamaican police state. Right? So now when him kind of calm down, him and hand him the license, the police make him know say the ticket basically already. So basically him a charge him for what? Not turning over his license or driving without a license. Something like that. So the man presented it to the court. The judge also told him that she don't want to see it. She don't want to see it. That is very strange. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it wasn't his license. It was his insurance. It was his insurance. Yeah, it wasn't his license. It was his insurance. Yeah. So the judge, the police told him that the ticket done right. They might charge him for drive without insurance. Right. The man had his insurance documents on his phone. The judge said he don't want to see it. The man was showing the clerk the phone, handing it to an officer to show the clerk to give to the judge. She said she don't want to see it. She refused to take it. She
So
gave
what did
him a
she
next
do?
day to come to court. She just give him a next day to come to court. Yeah.
Boy.
It's like a kangaroo court type of thing.
Well, that is what happens when they have a closed court system where the public is not allowed to go in there and go see Wagwan unless you have a case. Right?
True.
Because They are basically making sure that if you don't have a case, you cannot go in there and just go sit down. And there is no reason that is given to say, well, you can't come into the court. And that is a constitutional violation. I mean, people are not going there really, to say, I want to go inside, I want to go see, I want to be a part of the public experience to go into the courts and see what is transpiring, right? So, at the end of the day, we don't really have a collective of people where I say, boy, yeah man, make we go down to the court. Let us go together and see what's going on. Let us demand entry into the court so that we can document our experience. We can see if there's any unjust thing going on, etc., etc. Most of we just go by ourselves. We don't have a group.
Yeah, that's true. As they say, hard to make changes by yourself.
Right. It always has to be a collective to make any major change. Mr. Bean say him going to the court. Mr. Bean, what you mean? You're going there without having a ticket? You just walk in and go view the proceedings? Because
I don't know how he did that. I don't know how he did that.
yeah, I mean, several people have expressed the same thing to me. They turn them back.
Yeah.
They turn them back. If you're not going in to file a document, or if you don't have a case, they are not letting you in.
Cause even they had a hard time today with a Chinaman. He got a ticket and he went with this young man. He wasn't really a translator, but he understood, what the Chinaman was saying. I guess they worked together for a time. So
Yeah.
he basically went there as his translator, and the
Okay.
judge would not accept it. The judge said no. No, they had a hard time bringing the young man into the court. Because they asked him, "Are you on the ticket?" He said no, but he's here with the Chinaman just to kind of, explain what he's trying to say. They said
Right.
no. Yeah, they turned him back and give him a different date.
A different date for what? The same thing is going to happen. What if they can't understand the man?
Well, they said they'll try to work on a translator. That's what they said.
Ah, boy.
She asked the man, "Do you know who I am?" Poor Mr. Chin just there, I mumbling something. You don't know. I didn't know what he was saying.
Right.
What he was saying.
Why, I tell you. Wickedness can't do it, man. So now,
Can't do
somebody,
nothing.
somebody block out their entire morning. And you go to the court now, sit down and wait. And by the time you feel get through there now, your inconvenience, him tell us you come back one next date. And now, probably the next
Yep.
date come. And then, them still not have nothing in order. Them are going to tell you come back again.
Yep. Basically that.
Well, this is why I tell people all the time, come to class. And anybody who is not a signatory, I can't really say much here. But there are ways to deal with these situations.
True.
Yeah, man. So, boy, I tell you, some of them something here, unfortunately, many people go through it and then just feel like, say, boy, I guess it's just normal.
Yeah. They have a thing to say, boy, you're used to hanging, so choking won't kill you. So you're used to the system being so bad that you're just like, it is what it is.
Right. Yeah, man. So, thanks again. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming up on the stage and sharing your story and your experience. And again,
No problem.
if you think you're innocent, never plead guilty. We don't care what.
That's it.
Yeah, man. So big up yourself, and we're gonna get into some details now regarding some of this court thing here and why some of these things are happening.
All right, we'll be listening.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself. Thanks again. Lawful. Always.
All right. Lawful always.
Yeah. So, gentle people, we have reached a space where it has been a year now since I have been sharing the videos and the knowledge and the tips and a lot of feedback. A lot of people share their experience after using some of the information. Some people come to class. Some people, they watch the video them left, right, and center. Them come up with them own strategy. Them go in and them beat them ticket, them beat them ticket, them beat them ticket. A matter of fact, I've had, I think, about 3 different people from different groups that have reached out to me. And like I tell everybody, I cannot tell you what to do. I can only say what I would do in a specific situation. So I cannot give you advice on your specific thing. But at the end of the day, based on what I would have done, the individuals go out there and they perform and they were able to relay back good news. So, for those of you who are new to the page, if you go to my profile, somewhere up here, so there are a multitude of videos. This is all we do over here. We talk about the law, we talk about traffic, we talk about strategy, we talk about the lawful process and how we can get things done, or the lawful avenue of what we might see happening, right? And some of the lives are shared on YouTube. We don't share everything, but if you are a signatory, which if you're new here and you're wondering who is a signatory, what is a signatory, what can we access as a signatory, what is this signatory business about? A signatory is someone who takes action to learn better and do better. So if you want to become a signatory, the website is voiceofjamaica.com. So you can go there, you can check it out, and you can click on signatory, and that is where you can sign up. All right. So now that we have that out of the way, let us get into some intricate matters. Some things that, again, people are not going to really talk about, or they are not aware of, or they are simply scared to say anything about this information. So let us get into some detail. But first, here we have the current status of the voting, right? So we have 149 people who vote say they would want things in Jamaica change. They want the opportunities change, the price of items, the society, the laws, the courts, the politics. People would like change. So those who voted on voiceofjamaica.com, these are the results. We have 13 people say Jamaica is good. Jamaica don't want to change. Jamaica is perfect. And down here, so we have 149 people that says Jamaica could use some change. Now again, we have some people in the comment section because I posted a video on this. This was when the numbers were a little bit lower. And there are people in the comments. Sometimes, boy, there is one thing you cannot fix in life. And that is stupidity. You see, for those who refuse to use their brain, there is nothing we can do to fix that. That is a lost cause. You just leave it alone. You see me? So some of the comments them, I don't even bother to leave anything substantial. Because I realize that people feed off of negativity and people also feed off of misery. So, anyways, let us move on, right? So, last year, right around May going to June, several people reached out to me asking me about something called status correction, right? And if you have been doing any bit of research, you would have come across individuals talking about processes of correcting your status and doing all sorts of what you might consider strange, right? Because these individuals don't explain what they mean by changing your status or updating your status, right? What exactly is that? What does that mean? Why would you want to do that? Why is that relevant? What, me not have a status? We're going to talk a little bit about that today because it is relevant to what is going on in the courts. It is relevant to the police pulling you over. It is relevant to why the acts of parliament are currently being applied to you. So, we're going to talk about what is your current status and what can you change your status to. Okay? So, what we're going to do is, and we talked some about this before, but we're going to get into more details today so that we remain lawful and also you have a better comprehension of what this is all about when we talk about the system and how the system is viewing us as natives, right? So we're going to switch over to the computer so that we can reference. Watch out, I'm gonna get rid of the background now. Watch out, no. 1 second. Let me see if we can get rid of the background so that we can proceed. No. Oh, I think of this one. Yeah. Background. Remove background. All right. Here we go. So, this document, this legislation is called the Local Governance Act of 2016. And for those who are going to ask, let us go to the internet. And we're going to go to Google. Right? Because I know now go ask, how do we find it? How do we get access to this document? Go to Google and type in Local Governance Act Jamaica. Right? And there you go in the search results. There are several websites that have it. The very first one you can click on and you get to the Local Governance Act. Okay? All right. So let us use the one from the web. And here we have the Governor General signing off on it. Right? Sir Patrick Allen. The 17th day of January. Of what? No, February 2016. Now, we went over this before, but I am going to put this in a better form so you understand how this is connected to other things. So, here we have definitions in the act, right? It tells you what they mean by some of the terms that are being used, right? Now, if we go down to municipal corporation, it says shall be construed in accordance with section 5 to 7. You know what it is, you know? It don't tell you what it is, you know. It says you have to go down to these sections to find out what it is. What is a municipality? It means a city municipality or a town municipality. How can you use a word to describe itself? Anyways, let us look past that. We're not going to get into those semantics right now. Right? Let us go to section 5 that it tells us that we need to go look at. Section 5 says local authorities established or continued under this act. Right? Section 5.2, see? Section 5.2 says, bring it over here so you can see it better. The inhabitants of each parish, other than the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, are hereby declared to be a municipal corporation under this act. And each such municipal corporation shall be deemed for all intents and purposes to be the successor of the respective parish council referred to in section 3.2 of the Parish Council Act. So, this is telling you that the government considers you to be a corporation. It says the inhabitants. What is an inhabitant? Someone who lives at a location, don't. The inhabitants of each parish, other than the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, are hereby declared. So the government make a public declaration. It says hereby declared to be a municipal corporation. So you are now a corporation. Your name is a corporate entity. That is now your status in society. You are a walking legal fiction if you have a government ID. That is how they are viewing you. So why? Why would they say that everyone is a municipal corporation? How does this make sense? Well, that is an interesting question. In law, he who creates anything is the rightful owner. Let me say that again. He who creates is the owner. So if the government is the one who is declaring everyone to be a municipal corporation, this is how the government is claiming jurisdiction over everything and everyone. Just simply by this declaration right here. So your current status, if you don't reject, refute, or change this status as a matter of public record, you are still considered to be a municipal corporation. You are a legal fiction. You are subject of the government. So, for those of you who have seen the public notices on my page and some other pages, and you wonder, what am I doing with this public notice thing? What is this all about? When you do a public notice, that is one way you can change your status. You can change the way you are being considered in society. Okay? In America, public notices can also be published in the paper, the same way in Jamaica. You can publish them in the paper. If you don't have the money for that, you can simply make your declarations and you can mail it to the government. Send it via Tara, send it via the post office, zip mail, FedEx, UPS, whatever. Any service where you can get a receipt, you can simply mail it to the relevant government entities. And I get that. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay. So, with this declaration currently in force and effect, by the government that is supposedly published in the Gazette. This is how the Acts of Parliament apply to us, individually and collectively. This is how the contracts in the form of government forms, that is how those contracts become valid, because they are contracts between same corporation contracting with corporation. Okay? So, when you are there wondering, how can they get the power to do this? How does this apply to me? Why is this applying to me? Why is this happening? It is partly because you don't realize that you are considered a municipal corporation by declaration. Now, for those of us who are wondering now, well, why would the government do this? And why are these laws put into place? Right? Well, the better question is, when was the last time you participated in any lawmaking process? When was the last time you submitted your opinions on what you think the laws should be in Jamaica? When did you get a chance to input on how society should be situated? Does the government ask anybody any input? When you have these press conferences, does the government say, hey people, you know, so we're going to have a press conference, you know, so we're going to have a news briefing, you know, we are going to have this and that and X, Y, and Z. Do you want to attend? Do you have anything to say? Do you have any input? Would you like to give some solutions to these problems that we have? When was the last time we as a people were given the opportunity to shape society? That is the question. So at the end of the day, if you don't actively go out seeking, you are not going to find, unless, well, somebody tell you. If somebody don't tell you what's going on, and you are not out there seeking, you're not searching to see what is going on, why is this happening, right? There were so many people who said, boy, I didn't even know where to find these law, because me not go in the library go look for nothing, right? So when I start posting how you can access these laws online, I can't tell you the amount of messages that I got from people saying, boy, me have to really thank you, you know, because me start finding them something and me start read 1 page a day. Me start do this, me start do that. Boy, me feel like me did duns. That's how it go. But at the end of the day, that is just the basics. We have to know more than that. We have to get up to speed. Because when we see things happening, we see things in the news all the time, and we feel like that bigger than we can't do nothing about that. It is only because we do not have a collective. We don't have no communities. All we have are towns. People just live there. You might talk to people here and there, but nobody is coming together to do nothing. If it is not a charity event, Labor Day event, some dance, some function, if it is not entertaining, the people them now come together to do anything substantial. So where does that leave us? Because the primary thing many people look at is, what am I getting from this? What am I going to get out of it? And for some people, if money not involved, or if somebody else not start it, them no want to do nothing. What is the point? Right? So if we don't learn to if we don't learn to put some of these insecurities aside, because let me give you an example. Labor Day come, and you see 15, 20 people on the road, they might clean up the sidewalks, they might pick up the garbage. 1 day out of the year. One heap of work are going across the country. right? Mostly public service, right? And for the rest of the day, the rest of the year, nothing. Everybody will look for something to get out of something. Now, I am not saying that people will go out there and look for free things to do. I am not saying that. But if it is benefiting us as a community, why wouldn't we participate in it? Right? Sometimes we have to look beyond just instant gratification. If we always look for something right now, what is the benefit now? How much money may I get this week? How can we do anything monumental? But it has to start somewhere. And it will. It will. It just needs some competence, and it just needs a little bit of a push. See? Jassy, big up yourself. Welcome back, long time. Awesome. Yeah, man. Whenever you're ready, you can share the story, and we can go over details. So, if we ourselves do not build communities, if we don't come together and change some of these things happening to us, it will continue. Zine? The customs law is called the customs law, the Customs Act, Jamaica Customs Act, right? So let us bring up Jassy. Yeah, man, no problem.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
What go on, Jassy? Big up yourself. What go on?
Yeah, man. Let's say I had a ticket today, and it was dismissed. But as you did say earlier, there's a lot of intimidation. So basically, it's a quick synopsis. So I'm gonna do to distract from the class.
Yeah.
I was stopped on Waterloo for I don't even know what him stopped me for. So when he stopped me, he asked me to see my license. So at that moment, I said to him, what's the purpose of the stop, sir?" And he said, "Let me see your license now." And he said, "Sir, what is the purpose of the stop?" But me see him go away and come back and mumble after story. So me need to see your license. He said, "Sir, you don't need to see my license to check the status of the roadworthiness of the vehicle, because you can just run the plate and you'll see whatever. So in fact, you don't even need to talk to me. If you do have a reason to stop me, then I'm asking if I'm free to go right now, because they are not saying anything that um is warranting me providing anything to you."
Yeah.
Then say, um, "Sir, you still have to provide a license because the police don't stop you already." I know that is BS, but me just go along. In fact, the license actually was lost, so I actually have the paper from the tax office. So I give the paper from the tax office. He said, "Sir, this is not a license." I say, well, that is actually what we get from the tax office when your wallet lost or you lose your license, you get it back one. Homeboy proceeds to give me a ticket for failure to present a driver's license to a constable. So I say, all right then. I just shake me and I say, all right then. I take the ticket and I go on business. To them I go court. The judge, that's what I tell you, say, all the way I said, it is the judge by right is supposed to be a disinterested party, meaning that they don't have no horse in the race. Supposed to be a disinterested party. And today, the judge are basically tell the clerk what to say to prosecute the case against me. So going at the story now, then call me name, me going at the doctor, ask me for plea. I said not guilty. The first thing the judge turned to me now, "Why didn't you have a driver's license?" So I said, "Excuse me, Your Honor, you're saying this as a fact, or you're asking me a question?" When me say that, homeboy get vexed. Because apparently, if you ask them no question, if you say nothing. Because if you're not going to say to me, "Why didn't I have my driver's license?" Clearly, it must be that it's an established fact that I saw it go for real.
Right.
And on top of it, I said, but Your Honor, who is prosecuting this matter? Because I don't understand. My understanding is that the judge is supposed to ask questions for clarity for himself. But
Right.
he must start the trial. Like if the clerk must say, no, 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 After the clerk say, oh, you plead guilty or not guilty. And they said not guilty. Him take over the case. So him
Mm-hmm.
basically prosecute the case. And I said, sir, just hold on first. Even before we get to the ticket, have you ever, have the clerk realized that there's no other ticket issued? So he said, well, we don't. That's not the matter here. But I said that's centrally the matter because before you can even give me a ticket for not producing my driver's license, your colleague Justice Batts in a superior court
Mm-hmm.
indicated very clearly that the police must have a reason to stop you, a reasonable cause to stop you before they even attempt to ask you anything else.
Right.
I asked the constable on two occasions what is the reason for stopping me, and he has not he didn't indicate, and hence why he has not issued a ticket for that stop. Um, the constable must have stopped you for something. You think policemen are out there just mad, just stopping people for no reason at all? I said, Your Honor, that was the case in Hemans, and that's why Justice Bat had to rule in the manner in which he ruled. The police cannot just stop you just because they want to have a pen pal or have small talk. The man just start raising up. Listen, don't try to be smart mouth in here about pen pal and whatever. I said, Your Honor, these are just mere examples because I don't know what other reason the police would have to stop me. Here, what the man just said to me now. Um, So you're saying you're trying to convince this court that this police just stop it for absolutely no reason at all. I said, I don't know what it is with. You'd have to summon him here. You'd have to subpoena him to come here to ask him that. I can't answer on his behalf. The man
Mm-hmm.
I just said, you come here to give problems today. You come here to give problems. So you see me I say these people when they are challenged, these are the type of responses and attitude they give you. I come here to give problem now. When me I tell him say me cannot answer on behalf of an next man. Gonna
Right.
ask me if the police just mad to stop me for no reason. I say no sir, you'd have to subpoena him to come here to speak on him own behalf. No,
Right.
it reached to a point and look on the paper and realize that it can't corner me. Every which part him go, me tell him say it comes back to the mere fact that if he never had a reason to stop me, everything that flows after that is erroneous and have no moment. So if you
Mm-hmm.
never had the reason before, you have not ticketed me for that reason, everything else that flows. And I'm saying, even so, Your Honor, how can a ticket be issued if he doesn't have my TRN? He must have received that document or something indicating my TRN. That's why he was able to generate this ticket. Well, that is indeed true. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to admonish you. As I said, hold on, Your Honor. No, an admonishment is a judgment. And I am insisting that this matter be dismissed without prejudice. I will not accept an admonishment because the police had no right to stop me. Sir, you're not in charge of this court. You won't tell me how to rule. I said, Your Honor, respectfully, an admonishment by definition is a rebuke, it is a reprimand. And you only rebuke and reprimand somebody for something that they have done wrong. I have not done anything wrong, so I don't think it is appropriate for you to admonish me. And a lot of people don't even know the meaning of admonishment. When the judge said them admonish them, then things them get off and it's all good to go. But it is literally a judgment. It's a negative judgment, an admonishment. That the definition of the word. Him said, um, you're not going to tell me how to run my court, You're not going to tell me how to run my court. I said, sir, respectfully, just by the definition of the word. If you are at the point where the police had no reasonable basis to stop me, you cannot admonish me. You have to dismiss the charges fully and completely. Hearing. I hear you, sir. I hear you, sir. You're coming here full of argument this morning. Me no reply to him, man, because I think he's trying to bait you into trying to get into a situation where now you become combative and him have a reason to either do something else. So me just not me ignore him. Then me hear him say, Clark, okay, I have this matter struck from whatever, and he say, you're free to go, sir. And say, all right then. When we leave, make sure go over the place. The next officer may just say to them that this matter was just dealt with, and I want to place on record that it should be removed because they have a little style. When the judge admonish or when the matter is dismissed, I end up paying the money. It's still there upon it. So if you go check your something, they still say you have ticket.
Right.
It's them still say you have ticket. When by right that them never go into the system, go remove it. Because
Right.
once you not get no money, then feel like say it's still open. So
Mm-hmm.
we make sure go over there go tell her, and she said when the clerk finished, she'll carry over the paper the judge signed. Remember, apparently there's a sheet that the judge actually and them have there with them sign up or whatever. They will update it. But it just goes to show a lot of what you have been saying is a lot of intimidation and a lot of confusion. And that is exactly why you have to practice and know what you're saying. And don't let them confuse you or try
Right.
to berate you or make you get baffled. Just repeat the thing over and over because they might just try to get you to say something else and answer
Absolutely.
other questions that are irrelevant. Ask about who me for things of the policeman. I say you have to call him for asking them stuff there, sir. And here you know, the police is all the way in a St. Elizabeth. So me don't know how him reach a town because usually when them transfer everything get transferred. In something still a records in their station on a St. Elizabeth and all sort of stuff. But it was a good day, and as me I tell you, say, when me all mention about humans, and
Mm-hmm.
the Attorney General, he must say, this is not a trial, sir. This is not a trial. You have not submitted any documentation.
Wait, you said what?
This is not a trial, and you have not submitted any documentation or affidavit to to the court in cases. So when I say, in my head, maybe I get challenge it and say, but this is very open court, and you don't need to have documentation in open court. This is a open court trial. And I like say me did request disclosure, and then after they gave me the disclosure, they prepare a response and whatnot, get a statement from the police or affidavit. But it was not a, a process like that. I right there in the moment of court, everything happened. So you understand? So I write the come here, so I say, where my taboo? So I say, sir, I did not request. We didn't even get to the point of where I was able to request disclosure. The first thing after I pled was you asking me why you never have your license, as if it's a fact that I didn't have my license. So I didn't even get to say because they not explain the process to people. That me realize. So for example, if you're going to challenge the case. Then the tell you say you are support well, the assumption is that you have to know your business if you are come challenge case. So they've now even said to you say you can request disclosure, which is whatever evidence the police have or whatever statements you had made in an affidavit or what have you. So you can prepare yourself to come to court to properly adjudicate the matter with them. So is a real kind of a kangaroo court situation, really. And they need to stop it. They really need to stop it and stop trying to intimidate people and make them feel like say you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it was a good day overall. And the judge them, they don't like to be challenged. But as me say, you have to make sure you word your stuff in a very respectful way. So therefore, because in any situation, how you address people is how them will address you back. So if you're arrogant and aggressive, then the judge is going to be inclined to be the same way in terms of dealing with you. So that was a that was a good day. I've had times where I went and I lost, but as I said, sometimes when you lose, you go back again and you try to think there and brush up and see what is what. But as time goes on, you feel a lot more confident when you go. So And this was as a result of going to a couple classes in the earlys when they usually keep you alive then.
Yeah.
But over time, you develop your own confidence and write down what you gonna say because it's literally you can write it down and just replay it in your head as you go. But
Right.
he was very upset when the court case though. I don't know why. What's the big deal?
Because, well, one of the reasons is because they don't like when people come in there with no form of authority. So you coming in with a higher court ruling now, it show them up. They say, well, now you have to consider this as a part of the evidence of the case. Right? This is an authority above you. So you have to use this in determining the case. So once you don't argue with them, then they don't have any avenue to use so-called discretion very much at that level. They have to now stick to what the higher court already said, especially after
Yeah.
you bring it up.
Yeah, and I was very firm on the whole matter of admonishment because a lot of persons don't know that that is a negative judgment. The
Well,
matter should be thrown out because he had no right, any authority to stop me if he never have any reason or reasonable cause.
well, this is why I tell people to read Section 13 of the Constitution or the Charter of Fundamental Rights because it specifically states that you have the right to be told anything that is happening in the court in a language that you understand. If you don't understand what the judge is saying, you have the right to say to the judge, Judge, me not understand what you say. Speak in plain English, please.
Exactly.
He can't speak in a Latin, talk about admonition, discharge and all these different things. He has to bring it down to English level. Because as much as people might think they are speaking English, they are not. They are speaking legalese. So they are going to say some words. It sounds like, okay, it's supposed to sound, it's supposed to be this, supposed to be that. But if you don't know for sure what he's saying or what she is saying, you're going to fall into a trap because you're going to say something that you are use common sense with, and then that's how it go.
And another thing he kept on asking if I understand this, and I understand that he's in charge of the court. And
Mm-hmm.
I keep on using the word comprehend, and he got very annoyed. Him say, "Yeah, man, comprehend, understand. You need to
Mm-hmm.
understand that is me in charge of the court. You're not gonna come in here and tell me how to run my court." And I
Mm-hmm.
reply, I say, "Yes, sir. I hear what you say. You hear me? I need for you to understand it." And I say, "No, be honest, I want it." Like, but the thing is that I just remain calm and I just behave as if me nah really pay attention to his attitude more than just my constant refrain was that the police never had a right to stop me. Here, I'm gonna say before me leave, sir, if you still feel aggrieved, you can take up that matter elsewhere. Regarding the matter of whether or not you were stopped illegally or not, you
Right.
have to probably get an attorney. It's
Of
okay,
course.
so I'm a damn my business.
Well,
But when
congratulations, big man.
Yeah, man, thanks. But when me did that going, everybody has said the ticket is just $2,000 for a failure to present your driver's license to a constable. But I was explaining to people that sometimes it's not the money itself, it's just the principle of the matter. It's not that, of course, we could have paid the $2,000 even when I got the ticket. But we need to stop just, I call passive approval of this kind of trampling on your rights. Is what I call passive approval. You're by just paying the ticket without, if more people insist that why are you stopping me? You realize just like the other day, this whole matter of the fog lamps. Them literally, the commission have to put out a full statement because literally social media was flooding and a lot of persons were knocking out against it, lick out against it and things. And they had to put it on pause.
Right.
Same thing with the whole matter of the car seat for the children. Yes, we know it's a safety thing, but culturally, the data was not showing hundreds of thousands of babies dying from not being in a car seat. So it
Exactly.
was not needed. It's not like the US where you have the data to back it up. So then they have to
Exactly.
discontinue that as well because if you buy a car seat for 15,000 and then money that the car seat there and then the
Mm-hmm.
people grow it out, you have to buy a next one batch and the people reach two
Right.
and so forth. It was just in our context, it was crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's always good when you can remain calm and don't get bait into arguing because that is what they get you on, right?
Yes.
They get you to lose your cools, lose your footing, start argue with them with whatever they are saying, and that's how you start losing because now they're gonna say, no, this is the reason why your case was dismissed. You don't have a strong point, you don't have a strong defense, etc., etc.
Exactly. And also try to make sure you ask questions and don't make statements. So like
Right.
I made certain to even when him said, why you never have your ticket? I said, Your Honor, is this a fact? You see this as if you know it definitively that I did not have my driver's license. Then him said, why you think the officer would write you a ticket for not showing it, not presenting your driver's license? So I said, Your Honor, you have to subpoena the officer for that. I cannot speak on his behalf.
Right.
So when the response is me just get annoyed, because in things and maybe I go get in the argumentation to back and forth. Maybe I have the license, maybe I have the license. The police are traffic. They never allow that to happen. They just stick to the facts. And my constant refrain was the police didn't have any reasonable grounds to stop me. And the
Right.
request of my driver's license in law represents a search.
Right.
So he stopped and searched me, and he didn't find what he wanted because I didn't present it in the manner in which he wanted it. And that was not right, it was illegal.
Exactly.
Stick to the facts and make it be a constant refrain. Because they may ask you something over and over. So even when him getting at the whole matter of, so you're telling me the police in Jamaica they're just crazy. They just see you and just stop you and just give you a ticket for no license. That's what you're trying to tell this court. Everybody
Mhm.
in the court, I look around, I giggle, and whatever, and I'm talking. And I'm saying, the manner, it's just so unlawful the way the court, who should operate in a lawful manner, operate. The clerk spoke only once, and it was
Mhm.
when she asked, oh, all of the questions that were in my asked was what the clerk should be posing to the court. Or if I was a witness there, understand, she should have asked me then, not him.
Right.
And a lot of people just let this go by. And when you challenge him now, he's saying that "Hey, I'm in charge of my court. But they're
Right.
still
But
prosecuting.
in charge of the court and prosecuting the matter are two different things. Are
Yes,
you
and I'm
asking for
prosecuting.
clarity? Are you asking for clarity or are you asking me prosecuting questions?
Exactly. So it was, trust me. And funny enough, it just take one person to kind of something because even when I couldn't leave right at the same point because the space where you got pay, it full up. So I was standing at the back. And
Mhm.
before I went up, persons were a little kind of, timid or what have you. But after I left, I could see visible how much, in terms of how they were conducting themselves in the matters, they could have seen them, they had that. Because I think when I see so much people go down and then charging that, everybody down the line, and you see somebody who actually didn't have to pay or the judge had to actually dismiss the matter or what have you, it kind of give a little confidence to persons who are coming after,
Right.
So I kind of, this is a lot of persons who are a little bit more, when I say forthright, they were saying that no, that was not the matter, that was not the case, and like, so forth and so forth and things. So sometimes it just take one person to kind of give you a little boost and a little confidence.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Congratulations, man. And
Yeah, man.
sometimes, it just take that one spirit to come along and show say, not because everybody in the line, that no means everybody I go to the slaughter. You see?
Exactly. And
Right.
even there was actually a lady who said that she could not pay, and she was the only person. Everybody was saying after them get like they would have say, all right, you know, for them say 8,000 or 5 days in imprisonment or whatever. Everybody just take it and a grumble and I said, well, you know, one lady alone said, Your Honor, I'm not able to pay that amount. Is there a way in which I could make an arrangement? And he said, what kind of arrangement do you envision? I said, Your Honor, I get paid on a monthly basis. This is the beginning of January, the beginning of March. Is it possible for me to make a payment at so and so at the end of the month? And he said, at the end of the month, so you want to owe the government for over almost 30 days? I don't understand you. And then he said, okay, then, clerk. And the clerk must write something of the sort. So said the matter is still continuing and whatever. And when you pay the money, it will show whatever. So, and then after that, I saw persons asking, Your Honor, can I get that paid? So it just take one, but you see, the thing is that a precedent has already been set, so him can't now be so hard and fast from people. Because apparently, I never even know that you can tell them, say you're not able to pay. If, say, for instance, some of them did plead guilty. So if they
Mhm.
plead guilty, there's no need to really question the matter further. So the
Right.
judge might ask them a one question to say like, so why were you going so fast? And they might say, I was had a little emergency and I was rushing and blah blah blah. And just say, well, you could have had an emergency rushing as well. So you have to, even though you're rushing to go somewhere, you still have to maintain your speed limit and so forth. And
Right.
then
Right.
the judge will go forward now to give them the fine. And the lady said she couldn't pay it because month then gone, look at she pay up her bills them at the end of February, now a new month, so she have to try whatever. And
Right.
people were asking and give them some of them give like 2 weeks or whatever you and so forth. So
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're lenient, but by and large, sometimes it's a problem, you know? And everybody can pay, and unfortunately, some people don't realize if they don't have the money and they go in there and the judge don't agree with them, they're going to jail,
exactly.
you know? So,
And also too, what we want to remind people is that you can ask for the matter to be something there too. You
to be
can ask
adjourned
for
until a later date.
yeah, you can ask for immediate and a lot of persons, these are little things that I was saying to somebody, every single thing where you see liar going to court go do, you can do it too. It's just
Yep.
that you just have to know how to do it. So if a liar have a clash or him have some other matter to be with or somewhere to be, he just make one of we call them the clerk them who work in him office go down at the Supreme Court or wherever go get a date change and just that is it.
Yeah, you can ask for a continuance.
Continue on. So
Right.
sometimes the judge may say, no, I need a reason. Sometimes them just whatever.
Right.
So
But I mean, really and truly lawfully, once you give them, some kind of justifiable reason,
yeah,
I have an emergency or I have this to attend to, work or whatever, they really cannot just deny you the continuance. Right?
yes, that's true. And
So,
also too, it's almost like there is not especially if it's not on a serious matter where you're detained or
right.
you're you kill somebody and you have to, so it's kind of they usually say go ahead. I ask the clerk to see if there's an estate that's available that is convenient.
Right. Right. Awesome. Well, definitely thank you for sharing that. Lots
Yeah,
of good
man.
insights. Some of the things I'm talking about, I can start these lights from a courtroom and say, yo, look and see Jojo over there, so see the matter. So when people have their experiences and then get to come up and share these things, I know a lot of people find it valuable. So definitely thank you for sharing and thank you for, giving people at least a little bit of confidence for those who are listening and joining and all of that.
Hold
Um,
on there. See, Kemak who asked me if I got a written order
right.
from the judge. No, I didn't get a written one because how traffic court set up in a Jamaica is just it's like a conveyor belt. One, two, three, four, five. So, but what I went to the window where you'd have to pay, and she said that it is after the people after the court done all together, the clerk comes over and hand them the docket with all of the some files, I guess, with all the cases that were heard, and then them update it on the system. To say if you update it or if you check online and you still see the ticket, you can return to the court and tell them the date that your case was done, was heard, and whatever, and they'll manually do it if it was not done automatically. But I think if you want a written thing, you'd have to um submit some a written thing. You'd have to write to the court or the clerk or something like that if you want it like that. Because remember
Or
saying a traffic court, they know it's not a is that when they call it LB is not a court
court
of
of
record.
record.
So them now have no stand up people that they type up everything what you say.
Oh, the stenographer.
Then not have them and the judge actually take them own notes and what else. So
Well,
it's
the
not
judge and the
easy.
clerk apparently
Well,
writing
the
down the
judge and
note.
the judge because the clerk is of no use, and then we get to understand say, and the judge choose them clerk. So like,
Right,
so when they hear them, I say, oh, I clerked for this judge, and the judge choose you. You probably was in a one internship or something, and then just decide to, all right, I like the girl, let me gonna make she clerk for me. Cause she never asked nothing, she just did anything him say. She work with.
right. Yeah, I mean, again, it's an entire system against you. And if you don't know what's going on, you go cook. That's just really how
Yeah,
it is. A lot of people go in there enough time to get some experience, but by and large, if you don't, you know, comprehend what's really happening, you don't have much of a chance of winning. You might get away here or there, but for the majority, if you end up in there multiple times and you don't know what's going on, they are going to name your food.
yeah, man, definitely. All right, big up me there, both.
Yeah, man, big up yourself again. Thank you, thank you.
All right.
So, peeps, I actually have a meeting I have to run to. So unfortunately, I cannot take all the questions and all of the comments and stuff tonight. But we will continue again possibly Friday or sometime on the weekend. So big up on yourself, same way. Thank you for joining. Hope you learned something today. Lawful, always.